Hello, I'm Henry, and welcome to another 60-second from the depths tutorial, this time about propulsion. Now, I'll stop blabbering and get started. All propulsion components can be found in the water, air, and land tabs, except for steam jets and steam propellers, which are in the steam tab. Propellers, jets, and ion thrusters all work basically the same way, just in different environments. Propellers work in water, jets work in the air, and ion engines work everywhere, including space, at the cost of low thrust. When placed, they are automatically set up as one of 4 presets: turner, pitcher, roller, and pusher. You can also press Q when hovering over one of these blocks to bring up this menu, in which you can tweak its settings. While this may look daunting, it's actually really simple. These sliders just set its response to commands. Basically, when, for example, the yaw left command is given, this propeller will start spinning at 50% power. The other axes you can activate also act the same way, just with up, down, or strafe commands instead. These MISC inputs are used for stuff like, for example, the projectile avoidance AI routine, which gives the E command every time an incoming projectile is spotted. So, for example, if you have a bunch of down propellers set to respond to E, your ship will submerge every time a missile is spotted. This resting drive thing lets you set components to be constantly on. This particle effects button is quite self-explanatory. These pitch and yaw angle sliders let you tilt your propeller. While you technically can do so with some ACB or breadboard shenanigans, this feature isn't meant to be used for steering. Instead, it's for balancing your craft. If, for example, your thrust is off-center. This output thing lets you change the power of the propeller. The higher you set it, the more power it uses. This output number is the thrust it can output, as a multiplier of the default thrust, and the power use number is the amount of power it uses, which is also a multiplier of the default power use. At the bottom here is a summary of your settings. The other propulsion blocks also use this menu. Some have less settings and some have more. The blocks that just have this menu are as follows: air and helium pumps, sail winches, rudders, hydrofoils, custom jets, balloons, and all the control surfaces other than the tailplane. Diddy blades have this menu and have the spin block menu in addition to it, which lets you set how much engine power it uses, since Diddy blades don't need any engine power at all, which way it spins, and a setting which lets you make it push your craft upwards no matter which way it actually is facing. Tailplanes have 2 propulsion menus, since they are basically an aero rudder and an aero elevator combined into one block. All wheels have these 2 tabs. This one lets you change the suspension and friction of the wheel, and this one lets you make tank tracks, which are just aesthetics. Turning wheels also have a secondary propulsion menu. One controls the wheel spinning and the other controls the turning. Sticky feet have a whole different system since they don't actually provide any thrust. Those are all the components that make your vehicle move. Now I'll talk about drag, which tries its best to stop your craft from moving. Drag in from the depths is quite simple. It doesn't actually model any hydro or aerodynamics. Instead, there's just a simple stat for each block that details how much it reduces the drag in each direction, as well as this stat here, which shows you what clearance it needs. For example, if there's a block blocking either the front or top of this block, it won't reduce the drag at all. If you press middle mouse button, or whatever your mouse 3 button is, you can click this to check the forwards drag of all the blocks in your craft. Alternatively, you can see the total drag in each direction here. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching, and if I got anything wrong, please tell me in the comments below.